Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at CQT. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Now, we haven't done an update on CQT in quite a while, 2 months actually, so this is going to be the first one. And yeah, I do want to say that there are two donation links down below in the description. If you want to support Ukraine, feel free to do so by going over to the official websites linked down below, and you can actually support through the funds that are linked over there. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight into the TA. Now, jumping into the daily chart, we have two Fibonacci retracements here. We have one with the extension levels to the downside, and we have one with the extension levels to the upside. So we're going to remove the latter, and we're going to take a look at the bearish fib, so to speak. So as you can see, we had this perfect move to the downside on August 1st. We had this was a perfect entry for CQT. Right now, you're 165% up from this low, and I had this low for you guys. I had this Fibonacci for a very long time, and you always target the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level here, right? It was here at 0.0964 cents, and as soon as we started losing this low over here, I told you that the 1.618 is going to be our technical target. Now, the target below is the second fib level at 0.0464, and that was your capitulation target. So whenever you come down to the 1.618, there is also the possibility of going lower if you see further capitulations for this particular altcoin or for the crypto markets in general. And that's exactly what happened over here. So we went all the way down to the 1.618. Great entry point here, because you never know when the bottom is, because you're buying off of support, right? That's what you should be doing. So you bought off of the 1.618, you had a little flat over here, you went sideways, and then at the end of July, you capitulated on August 1st, perfectly, exactly to the second fib level, and off of that, you had the, pretty quick recovery, retest of the 20 EMA. From there, you went down, and you had this little flat over here, and you started printing higher highs and higher lows, and right now, you've got a bullish cross with the 20 and the 55 EMAs, and you're above the 1.618 level. So things are looking quite bullish for CQT in the moment. However, in the next, I believe, 10 to 12 hours, we're going to get the information regarding the interest rates, and a lot of people are expecting 75 basis points hike, and that's what I'm expecting as well. I don't think we're going to be, there is also the possibility that we may get a 50 BPS hike. If that happens, obviously the markets will see a bit of a rally, but that's going to be a fake out, because a 50 BPS hike is still a 50 BPS hike. That doesn't mean things are getting better, right? That doesn't mean things are getting better. So even though we're going to see this, relief rally, it's going to come back down eventually, right? November is usually a very bullish month, but we did say that about October as well. And as you can see, October was not fruitful pretty much at all. Obviously, some altcoins were pretty overextended, but for the most part, the markets didn't see that sort of strong relief rally that I was expecting, that we, the one that we've had for the past 3 years in October and November. There, it still could change. We still could have a nice move to the upside in November. That is also very, very possible. If that happens, we have some targets for CQT. Now, the first target obviously would be the 1.414 Fibonacci retracement here at 14 cents, slightly higher than 14 cents, 14 cents and a quarter to be exact. Above that, you have the 1.272, and then you have obviously the first fib level at 31 cents. So, do I think all of these targets can be met in November? Yes, it is possible, but for that, Bitcoin would start, pumping as well. We'd get to around about 25, maybe 27, $28,000 in November. That's when I can see, these targets being met. And from where we are right now, that would be around about a 200 percent move to the upside. So this is pretty massive for CQT. Now the swing high and the swing low that we have obviously for this retracement is all the way up here in August of 2021, and the lows were printed here in July of 2021. That's how we got these extension levels, right? And you're pretty much going to retest your previous support levels as resistance, and then you're going to come back down because you haven't retested the 1.414. You never really retested the 1.272 as resistance after you fell down. Yes, you had this little wick here, but we don't really count wicks. So we're looking for body candle closes on the resistance levels. So that's potentially what could happen here. So if you haven't bought into CQT yet, I would wait potentially. I'm not a financial advisor, obviously, but I never buy these large green candles. You're better off waiting until we see the drop either tomorrow or until we see the drop after, the relief rally kind of settles itself, because whether you like it or not, we're probably going to see Bitcoin go below $20,000 once again. That's just almost a fact because the markets are bearish. The sentiment is bearish. There are no positive news coming out. And I see the market starting recovering only in spring of 2023. Now, obviously, I could be wrong, but this is simply what I think. All right, and what we can also see is that we have a very nice cup and handle pattern over here, as you can see. So let's just see what the target from that is. So what we do is we take a trend line here and we draw it over there, and obviously you have your cup over here. So for those of you who don't know, it basically looks like a cup, and then you have your sort of channel down pattern over here. Probably should zoom in a little bit. So, and there's going to be your channel down pattern. Okay, that's your channel down pattern. And right now, what you should do is you take a trend line from the neckline all the way down to the bottom of the cup, and then you place it from the trend line. I know some people place it from the channel down pattern. I just place it off of that. So if you place it off of this point, the target has been met perfectly. If you're looking for a higher target, you just place it on the neckline, and that gives us the 1.414 perfectly. So if you bought in here during the October pullback that we had in September as well, you could still take some profits at the 1.414 if you haven't done that already. That's what I would be doing. So yeah, this is a bullish pattern. It's playing out perfectly. Potentially the target has already been met. We are very overextended from the 20 EMA on the daily. If we take a look at the daily RSI, you can see that we're breaking out of a major resistance level here. And yeah, we're in the overbought, so this is the time to be taking some profits, in my opinion, for CQT. Unless you're holding for the very long term and you don't care for these small pumps, simply buy off of support levels. There is also the possibility that we may come back down to the second fib level once again. That's also possible. Could happen. If Bitcoin drops back down to $16,000, we could see that happen. Now let's bring back the second fib that we had, and let's remove the one with the extension levels to the downside. So here, what's going on here is we have this low that we printed in August, right? So we have this low, and we have the high that we printed in August last year. So we have our golden ratio here at 50 cents, basically. And what we're doing right now is we're running into the 0.236 at 11.5 cents. So you were hovering around this level here in November and January or not November, in June and August this year. You came back down, and right now you're coming back to retest it as resistance once again. So ideally what we want to see from CQT right now is we want to see the 20 EMA held, and you don't want to see it lost, because if that happens, you're going to come back to the 55, and then potentially you're going to lose that. In an uptrend, the 20 EMA is your support band, and you want to stay off and bounce off of that. And potentially our next target is going to be here at the 0.382, and that is at 20 cents. That's a pretty good target. And from where we are right now, that is another 83%. So I think that is possible if we see a relief rally for crypto. But then again, that would happen only if we saw a 50 BPS hike rather than a 75 one. So we'll see what happens in the morning. This is what I see for CQT. But for the long term, if I just remove the bearish fib once again, for the long term, if we don't lose this low that we printed in August, and we assume that this is the low of our bear market for CQT, you take a look at the 1.618 level here, and you're looking at $23 in the next bull market, and you're looking at $10.50 for the 1.414, and your minimal target is going to be $6.16, and those targets are going to be valid after you break through the previous all-time high, which is at $2.16. So once you break above that over here, right, and you break that level, you backtest it as support, hopefully, then you're good to look at all of these levels here. So that's what I think for CQT for the long term. Obviously, we have the golden ratio at 49.74 cents. That's going to be a very important level for us to break, because if we do something like this, we come up and we run into the golden ratio and then we get sent back down, that's essentially a dead cat bounce, and that would be a bad scenario on such a large fib. But overall, CQT has been in this terrible downtrend ever since August last year, so it's been going on for more than a year, and maybe now is the time when we start breaking to the upside and we start reversing the trend. But as always, there's Bitcoin to, say whether we can do that or not. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If I missed out anything important on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Patreon. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.